Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We've got a lot of news for you tonight from today and over the weekend, but first, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. We had a significant weekend with a lot of unexpected changes, including extreme high temperatures that never materialized on the ground, mostly thanks to what you see right here, unhealthy and even hazardous levels of wildfire smoke. Humidity was high Saturday into Sunday. We did see some rainfall over the weekend, just a few tenths of an inch in the Upper Valley, but we also learned that July was a historically hot month for Wenatchee and other locales. We're still getting a taste of that heat as we move into the first week of August. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later to give you the full weather picture, but first a few of the stories that we are following for you tonight. Crews have begun to turn the tide on the Cub Creek and Cedar Creek fires burning in the Methow Valley. 2 people were killed and a suspect arrested Saturday at a home north of Moses Lake. And a Wenatchee man is accused of imprisoning a woman who held a protection order against him. But first, our top story tonight, crews battling a pair of big fires north and south of Winthrop saw improved weather conditions that included a little rain on Sunday. Evacuation levels were lowered in some areas of the Cedar Creek fire burning along Highway 20. They moved from level 3 to level 2 was much of the Mazama area, including the Mazama Bible Camp, Wolf Creek, and Wolf Creek Bridge. The Cedar Creek fire has burned 48,700 acres and is 23% contained. The Cub Creek 2 fire to the north has burned 58,000 acres and is 24% contained. The incident management team said with hotter weather and lower humidity today, they were expecting the fires to be more active. Those fires even drew the attention of President Joe Biden this week. We'll have more about that for you later in our broadcast. Well, the wind pushed smoke from those wildfires into the Wenatchee Valley over the weekend, lowering air quality into a very unhealthy range in Wenatchee and Chelan, and into hazardous range for several hours in Leavenworth. Fire managers on the Cedar Creek and Cub Creek 2 fires in Okanogan County said they expected winds this afternoon to push smoke to the east, providing some relief, but conditions are likely to worsen this evening. After being in the very unhealthy range since 8 p.m. Saturday, air quality in Wenatchee improved to unhealthy by 7 this morning. Air conditions in Winthrop and Twisp remain in the hazardous range through the weekend and were actually at their worst this morning. Air quality in Leavenworth reached hazardous levels from 7 p.m. Sunday until midnight before improving somewhat to very unhealthy. Well, 2 people were killed and a suspect arrested Saturday at a home north of Moses Lake. The Grant County Sheriff's Office is releasing few details on the incident. Spokesman Kyle Foreman said deputies responded just before noon to reports of a weapons violation in the 8,000 block of Road 18 Northeast and found 2 people dead on the property. A person was taken into custody and law enforcement remained on the scene until well after midnight that night. Neither the names of the victims nor the person detained were released. Well, a Wenatchee man who allegedly imprisoned a woman who held a protection order against him and then ran from police who arrived to investigate. 35-year-old Alfonso Villanueva Arroyo faces possible charges including assault, kidnapping, and tampering with a witness. Wenatchee police say last Wednesday, Villanueva confronted a woman who held a domestic violence restraining order against him and kept her inside a camper for 45 minutes while he ordered her to withdraw her allegations. The woman was eventually able to escape, and police say Villanueva sped away on a motorcycle as they tried to pull him over. They arrested him the following day. He remains in the Chelan County Jail on $100,000 bond. Well, coming up next, the North Central region of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife has a new director, and 3 men struggling over a pistol led to a gunshot and 1 arrest in East Wenatchee this weekend. I'm Jefferson Robbins, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
My name is Catherine Thomas, and I'm running for the Wenatchee School Board. The school board should work for the parents of this community, and I want to bring the public back to the public schools. I'm a registered nurse, the wife of a medical professional, and the mother of a Wenatchee high school student. I'm running to bring common sense, courage, commitment, and compassion back to the public schools. Vote Catherine Thomas for the Wenatchee School Board.
Make being home fun again. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa has just what you need to bring fun back into your backyard. We have a wide selection of artesian spas and swim spas, new and used to choose from. We are happy to announce we are now selling Rainbow Kids play structures with 50 models to choose from. To help finish off your entertainment area, we have patio furniture and Komodo Joe grills. At Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, we have just what you need to bring family fun and entertainment to your backyard. Stop by today. Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today, 509-663-1710.
I'm Jared Sessler, your Republican candidate for Congress. When I drove NASCAR, fair competition was everything. But it isn't possible if someone is cheating or if illegal players are allowed on a team. In NASCAR, COT meant the car of tomorrow. But today, CRT forces the America we know and love to run with weights around its ankles. I'll fight for the common sense that we need in D.C. Go to jaredsessler.com to learn more. I'm Jared Sessler, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The North Central region of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife has a new director. Brock Haynes will take over supervision of the 5-county region starting this week. The 41-year-old Haynes is a 13-year veteran of the Wildlife Agency. Right now, he's the Olympia section manager overseeing the state's population of hoofed animals, but he started as a wildlife biologist in the North Central region, which includes Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Okanogan, and Adams counties. The regional office is based in Ephrata. Well, Lake Chelan's fire district had to revise the language in its upcoming levy resolution, which goes to the voters in November. Chelan Fire and Rescue, also known as Fire District 7, currently collects about 81 cents for every $1,000 of property value within its boundaries. It wants to raise that rate to $1.10 to pay for staffing, equipment, and other future costs. But the Chelan County assessor and prosecutors said the title on the ballot might be misleading to voters. Attorney Joseph Quinn explained the issue to fire commissioners in a meeting this morning.
Apparently, the assessor felt it was somewhat misleading because it implied that you had approved in the past by the voters $1.10. And she said, actually, that's not true. So I can't tell people it's true when it's not true. And I said, well, actually, they approved more than $1.10 apparently in the past. And she said, yes, that's correct. Apparently what happened is the voters approved $1.50 a long time ago. And when it started, it actually cranked out at $1.48 and has compressed all the way down to 81 cents. That's just because values went up so much. But this resolution makes it clear that you're well within the $1.50 that the voters approved in the past, but you only want $1.10, because that's supposed to be your message that although you could have asked for more, you're basically asking for about a 30-cent per thousand increase by this election.
3 men struggling over a pistol led to a gunshot and 1 arrest in East Wenatchee this weekend. No one was injured, but 60-year-old Darrell P. Sheriff faces a possible charge of second-degree assault. East Wenatchee police say 2 roommates in a mobile home park on South Pace Drive were arguing Friday over alleged damage to a garden. The fight became physical, and Sheriff allegedly was choking one roommate when the man reached for a handgun he legally carried in his waistband. The firearm went off as the 3 men fought over it. Sheriff remained jailed in the Chelan County Justice Center this morning. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, Governor Jay Inslee sits down with the President and Vice President to talk about the state's devastating fire season. After that, Dan Kuntz comes along with your complete local weather forecast. Much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
What you're doing is ridiculous. ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to SheLandPUD.org/save today.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma, and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics, and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment, so my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Governor Jay Inslee and 6 other Western governors met virtually on Friday with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. The topic, combating and preventing the wildfires that have burned over 3 million acres this year, including almost 169,000 acres in Washington. The president specifically pointed to the fires currently plaguing the Methow Valley.
Let me ask you, Governor Inslee, you've been talking about the impacts of environmental change for a long, long time. And one of the things, and I asked them to show me, to get me a map of where all your fires are in your state. And when you have Delancey and Cub Creek 2 and Cedar Creek, I mean, they're massive fires, massive. As you look at what's transpired over the past month, and you look at the road ahead of this wildfire scene, what is your biggest concern, Jay? What is your biggest concern? And again, I ask the same question. What is the thing we can do most? I mean, you go all the way from Delancey down to Lick Creek, as they say in the creek, down in the southeast part of your state. What are your biggest concerns?
The thing I worry most about is if for some reason the Congress did not follow your leadership in this reconciliation and infrastructure bills that allowed you to realize your vision of creating millions of jobs while fighting climate change. That's my biggest worry right now, because the fact of the matter is there is nothing in human intervention against these fires while climate continues to ravage our forests. You know, we used to think of these things as forests. They're really now just fields of fuel, and they're fields of fire with just one spark because they're so dry. And that aridity creates something like gasoline on the floor of our forest. There is only one way to prevent these forests from being gone in the next century, effectively, to be totally unrecognizable. And that is to succeed in following your vision in the reconciliation bill for a clean energy standard, for a huge transition to the electrification of our transportation fleet, to a civilian climate corps. And so I want to tell you, we are going to be with you as you stand tall while you negotiate this reconciliation bill to say, look, we have to have those climate investments. There is only one way to save these forests from the ravages of climate.
Jay, you're beginning to convince the American people there is a thing called climate crisis. About time.
Indeed.
Now here with a full look at your weather picture, it's our friend Dan Kuntz.
Yes, television viewers, it's come to this. I'm doing the weather. Grant's taking a couple of days off, but I do the weather on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, so I get to do this by default. And we welcome August with that. Blech. We had a really bad air quality this morning, well into the 200s. As the day progresses, it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. The smoke is at its thickest and at its haziest in the earliest morning hours when we have high relative humidity and it's not particularly warm. As the day progresses, the earth starts to warm up, the smoke dissipates a little bit, and then we start it all over again. Till Wednesday, or through Wednesday, I should say. By Thursday, we're going to be done with this stuff. Keep your fingers crossed. A low pressure ridge is going to come down and visit us from Alaska, hopefully scour the skies out. That's the plan anyway, as we see whatever it is that we can see from our cross camera up atop Wenatchee Heights. All right, let's get busy. The almanac, there you go, 97 today. Now, the forecast high temperatures you're going to see is all relative to the smoke. It's all about the smoke. More smoke, not as much direct sunlight, cooler temperatures. In fact, a couple of bizarre weather phenomenons happened over the weekend. Sunday's high temperature I'm talking about now, was 86 degrees, and that happened at 21 minutes after midnight, and then it never got above 86 degrees. It was like upside down. That doesn't happen too often. 97 and 90, record high of 103. And by the way, in case you missed it, we had the hottest July ever recorded. When they wrapped up, they did all the statistics on Sunday. Our average high temperature for the month of July, 80.8 degrees. That's as hot as it's ever been since they started taking these measurements back in the 1950s. So again, what we really need is rain. Maybe it's coming. Let's find out. High temperatures for tomorrow. Again, as we look at this, a slight grain of salt. Depends on who gets smoke and who doesn't get smoke. Everybody's going to get smoke. It depends on the density of it. Let's take a look-see. Still 101 out in Moses Lake. Ephrata, you'll be at 101. Quincy, a little bit cooler. Wenatchee Valley, 99. Cashmere, the home of Tucker Wagner, 99 degrees. Leavenworth, Lake Wenatchee, still very, very, very warm. It is August after all. But again, it's all depending on how thick this smoke is going to get. So what's happening? What's going on? Well, they got wildfires in northern California and southern Oregon, and that's coming up and it's paying us a visit. And why is it paying us a visit? I'll show you why. High pressure is bringing it up. That's what's going on. And then, of course, we have the fires up in the Mid-Howe Valley, and it kind of decided to call the Wenatchee Valley home. Smoke did for a while. The smoke is much worse up in the Mid-Howe Valley. They've had extremely poor air quality in Twisp, in Mizama, in Winthrop proper, in Omak, and Okanagan, and Riverside. Not particularly, the air is simply unfit to breathe up there. But there is a break coming, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. As you can see, continued sunny, continued hot, continued hazy. All depends on how they do knocking down the fires and how this high pressure ridge is eventually going to get bumped out of position. Cool air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska could even bring us a little bit of rain. Boy, could we use that. Cooler temperatures on Thursday, high of only 93 degrees. Chance of rain increases Thursday night and is even better on Friday. Now, we're not talking significant downpours, but it's the combination of two things that we need to clear out the atmosphere. Number one, light breezes coming in out the Pacific Ocean, and number two, rain. Both of those would be a beautiful, wonderful thing. We should be completely done with the hazy, smoky conditions by Thursday afternoon. Shaping up to be a nice weekend if you don't have air conditioning. Not going to have to worry about that. We're going to cool all the way down to 80 degrees. That's 10 degrees below normal by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. So there is relief in sight from the incredibly smoky skies and the warm temperatures. You're just going to have to pack your patient bag a little bit, okay? And we'll get her done. All right, let's take a look at that forecast one more time, and we'll start out with the rest of the day today. Again, 97 degrees. It's all relative. The hazier it is, the cooler the temperatures. 71 for the overnight low tonight. Going to get right near triple digits, 99, and then 100 on Wednesday. Wednesday night, the transition begins. By the time we get to Thursday, we start talking about a little bit of rain. Cloud cover, rain, a little bit of wind on Friday. Saturday, considerably cooler as this cool air coming down from the Gulf of Alaska really makes itself known. So there you go. That's your weather forecast. Still to come, Eric Grasham with sports and more. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
From public health to politics to education and everything in between, come along with me as I take a look at the important stories and issues that matter to all of us here in North Central Washington. I'm a freelance journalist and opinion columnist who has covered everything from illegal militias to mom and pop shops, and now I'm bringing my unique, historically rooted perspective to the stories that matter most. I'm Dominic Bonney. Join me for a daily dose on NCWLIFE.
Things have changed in the motorsports industry. Short supply and high demand have emptied showrooms. But what hasn't changed are the experts at Doghouse Motorsports. They are here to help you reserve the machine of your choice. Stop by and check out the latest 2022 Husqvarna motorcycles, UBCO, and Intense electric vehicles, and other new additions to the Doghouse Motorsports family of high-quality products.
Over the last year and a half, the industry has absolutely changed, but the Doghouse is still your best option for all your power sports needs.
And now it's a sports update. on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. A much anticipated fishing season for sockeye salmon at Lake Wenatchee will open this week. The Department of Fish and Wildlife announced that anglers will be able to get their sockeye in Lake Wenatchee just after sunrise Wednesday morning. The daily limit will be 2 sockeye with a minimum size of 12 inches. According to fish managers, the 29,000 sockeye have been counted at Tumwater Dam on the Wenatchee River, creating the availability for a fishery. Managers say that a minimum of 23,000 of fish are hoped to return to propagate the species. This will leave about 6,000 fish for anglers to harvest. A word to the wise, however, the only launch is at the state park, and that'll be a busy place long before daylight, so it's recommended you either get there early or pack some patience or both. Heading into the weekend, the Mariners were 10-1 in extra inning games this season. 24 come from behind victories. After a 9-5 win on Friday, Seattle looked to control its wild card future. In Texas, Rangers had other plans. However, for the second consecutive game, Jonah Heim hit a walk-off home run to hand Texas a 1-run win. On Saturday, Seattle led 4-3 in the bottom of the 10th when Heim hit a game-winning walk-off 2-run homer. Sunday, Seattle led 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th when the Rangers struck again.
Heim would come to the plate as the potential winning run. And this ball hit well. Deep out to left. That one is gone! Ibanez has tied the game! Third home run of the year for Andy Ibanez. And he knots it up in the 9th inning.
Big-time heroics and consecutive nights for the Rangers.
That ball hit well. Deep out to right. Has he done it again? Gone! Jonah Heim! And the Rangers win it again in their final at-bat. Unbelievable! 2 nights in a row for Jonah Heim. These guys are fun again.
Heim became the first player in the majors to hit back-to-back walk-off home runs for his team since Albert Pujols did it for St. Louis back in 2011. Manager Scott Service summed up the sour feeling nicely.
Sure how to summarize that game other than it sucks. It really does. We had a lot of opportunities offensively to stretch the lead a little bit, and we just weren't able to get that big hit to kind of spread the gap. And, we were short in our bullpen today. A lot of guys have been running hard. And so, I thought we were in a great spot. Just, you got to give the Rangers credit. They obviously got some big hits against us in the 9th inning on some balls we didn't get where we wanted to. But, the last couple nights, those are games that we typically lock down, and we've been winning all year long. And, they just flipped the script on us. We've just been so good, executing late in games, whether it was a guy in the mound, defensively, getting the big quality at bat, just different things that we've been really good as a team doing throughout the entire season. Just the last couple of days, we weren't able to execute, the way we have been and finish it off. But, when you get on a roll like that, winning all those close games, you just expect it to happen every night. And, unfortunately, we just didn't get it done here the last couple of days.
Doesn't get any easier for Seattle. Mariners now head to Tampa Bay to face the East leading Rays. Chris Flexen on the mound against Michael Wacha. And other American League West action Sunday, Darren Ruff's 2-run home run in the bottom of the 5th proved to be the difference. San Francisco topped Houston 5-3. Matt Olson hit a 3-run home run, and Yan Gomes followed with a 2-run shot in Oakland's 5-run third inning. A's beat the Angels 8-3. Oakland extended its lead over Seattle in the wildcard race to 3.5 games. The Wenatchee Apple Sox had a successful weekend in 2 games against the Northwest Star Academy. Wenatchee took advantage of 4 Nighthawk errors in a 7-inning win Saturday 5-3 after surrendering 2 runs in the first. Sox came back to tie it with 2 in the second. Tino Bethencourt's RBI single gave Wenatchee a 3-2 lead in the 4th. Then in the 5th, Enzo Apodaca hit an RBI triple, then stole home to put the Sox up for good in that one. Wenatchee jumped on the visitors early Friday as well in a 15-4 victory, including 5 runs in the first inning. Apple Sox led 9-4 in the 6th when Colin Villegas came to the plate to add on.
3-1 pitch, swung on a fly ball deep to left field. This one's going back, and it will be gone. A 2-run home run for Colin Villegas. And the Apple Sox extend their lead to 11-4 for Villegas. That is his 2nd home run of the season. Guerrero scores. And there you see Colin Villegas.
We have that game live here on the NCWLIFE channel. Wenatchee begins the final homestand of the season tomorrow against Port Angeles. We'll have Friday's game against Cowlitz here live at 6:30. Well, the Sox had the only they had the day off on Sunday, but here's a look at what else happened in the West Coast League. Charlie Som's walk-off RBI single in the bottom of the 12th gave Bellingham a 5-4 win over Corvallis. Nathan Chong hit a 2-run home run in the 6th. Garrett Lake added a grand slam in the 9th. Port Angeles beat Cowlitz 12-1. John Peck's 4th homer of the summer was a walk-off win for Ridgefield as the Raptors topped Walla Walla 8-7 in 11 innings. Ivan Luna's 2-run single in the bottom of the 7th gave Portland the lead, and Jackson Woodhouse added a bases-loaded walk, give the Pickles a 3-1 win over Ben. Yakima Valley's leading is 2.5 games over Bellingham in the second half standings of the WCL North. Wenatchee sits 4-11, 6 games back. Corvallis leads Ridgefield by 2 games in the South. Now, as far as the overall standings, keeping in mind that Yakima Valley already won the first half title, everyone's chasing Bellingham right now. The Apple Sox sit 4.5 games back of the Bells for that second best overall record with 9 games left. There's only one game on the schedule today. Corvallis is hosting the Northwest Star Academy. Coming up tomorrow, Wenatchee at Port Angeles, or make that Wenatchee host Port Angeles. Walla Walla visits Bend. Corvallis hosts Yakima Valley. Cowlitz plays Ridgefield, and Portland entertains Bellingham. Seahawks wrapped up the first week of training camp Sunday at the VMAC in Renton. And one player who's really stood out so far in camp is defensive back Marquis Blair. The third-year player missed most of last season with an ACL injury. Coach Peach Carroll says he's looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing but really positive observations, high praise. I love his mentality, his toughness, and his style of play. He's already made a bunch of plays out here. He looks really good. He's had a good chance to get a lot of reps at safety as well as the nickel spot. He's an explosive football player, and we really missed not having him last year.
Seattle has a scrimmage on Sunday at Lumen Field. It's the first fan-attended football at the stadium since 2019. Tickets on sale for that 1:25 kickoff at Seahawks.com. That's a look at sports news. Jefferson, back to you.
Eric, thank you so much, as always. Finally from us tonight, a Grant County Jail inmate who walked away from custody on the 4th of July was recaptured without incident Saturday morning in Ephrata. Following a tip, Grant County Sheriff's Office deputies found 25-year-old jail trustee Carlos Camarena in a home at 35 G Street Northeast. Also arrested at the home on an outstanding felony warrant was 39-year-old Linda Zaragoza. Camarena was taking garbage to a dumpster on July 4th when he ran off. He's now back in jail, where he's awaiting escape charges in addition to the time he's already serving for second-degree burglary and third-degree theft. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for another look at what's coming up for your Tuesday morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Jefferson. We're getting into the very tail end of the Wenatchee Apple Sox season. After a good weekend of non-league action, they're back to games that count, including the Port Angeles Lefties in town Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Cowlitz will be in town over the weekend. They still have a shot to make the playoffs, but the Apple Sox got to start winning some games. In my weekly update with the Wenatchee Apple Sox will be our guest interview segment on tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Plus, we'll let you know on how long this bad, smoky, hazy air is going to last. Get your day going live and local with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Jefferson, back to you.
Thanks so much, Dan. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or at our website, ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call, 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks for joining us. Have a great evening.
Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCWLIFE channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.